Hi Internet, welcome to the Greg Troyan YouTube channel, and welcome to Greg's 14 Adventures, a weekly vlog where I discuss my journey through Final Fantasy XIV as a first-time player. I beat A Realm Reborn back in 2022, and I'm finally finishing up the rest of the game. These vlogs are documenting my journey. If you like these videos and want to support their continued production, the best way to do that is to like the video, share it on a relevant social media site like Reddit, and leave a comment. Thanks, pal. So last week, we left off with our plan to meet with Race Valgar in order to parley with him so that we could prevent the Dravanians from attacking Ishgard. So after doing a quick Ether Current side quest, we went over to Tailfeather to gather info, and while there we found out that the Narth, beastmen local to the area, are attacking random travelers. So we made our way to Anix Shrine and met with a dragon named Vidofnir, and we asked Vidofnir to open Sohm for us, which is a mountain pathway that will lead us to where Race Valgar is. And Vidofnir says that they will open the pathway for us if they can defeat the primal that the Narth have summoned. Apparently the Narth have become more aggressive lately and have summoned their primal, and so, you know, typical like Ascians, like, oh, we're going to influence these beastmen to summon their primal, more of that jazz. And so we get recommended to meet with a tribe of Narth that are more amenable to communicating with outsiders, trading with them, and not just randomly attacking them. And this particular tribe of Narth are known as the No Mind. So apparently the Narth, which are kind of like the Antika from Final Fantasy XI, they're ant beastmen. Apparently they have a hive mind and all share similar, they have like a telepathy and have the same thought patterns. And the ones who have the same thought patterns are known as the One Mind. And the Narth in this particular sect, who have individuality and individual names, they are known as the No Mind. And so after getting some tips on how to deal with the One Mind, our plan is to storm the One Mind's headquarters, cause some ruckus, and allow them to capture us. And so we do that, and we get into a boss fight with the Narth's primal, Ravanna, and it's a pretty easy boss fight. It's actually one of the easiest boss fights in all of 14. Is it because I'm just getting better at the game, or because it's an easy fight in general? I'm going to lean towards it being an easy fight in general. But after we defeat Ravanna and make Ravanna promise to stop causing trouble, we go back to Vidofnir, who is genuinely surprised that we defeated a primal, but is true to their word and gives us permission to open the gate to Sohm, which is through Morn. So we go through Morn to get to the gate to Sohm. And then we got to the first non-optional dungeon of Heaven's Word, because the Dusk Vigil was an optional dungeon, and the Ravanna fight wasn't a dungeon, that was a boss fight with other players. That was, I think that's considered a trial versus a dungeon. And so I did what I always do. I queued up for the fight with a party of other players, because I don't really consider myself to be a very good video gamer. Like, I'm not a gamer, I'm a guy who likes video game storytelling in the JRPG genre, but I'm not, like, I don't consider myself a gamer necessarily. Like, I'm not one of those guys who's like, oh man, get good, son, and gets really in the weeds of technicalities of game mechanics and stuff. Like, I consider myself a pretty casual guy who is just mainly playing these games for the story. And so the reason why I typically, even with the option to play with a party of NPCs, have chosen the party of other players is because even with the weights, which was something I complained about in some of my early videos discussing 14 in my Final Fantasy ranking series, because I don't consider myself very good, I like sort of like having other players as a crutch to help me get through difficult content. Like, oh man, if I suck, someone in this queue is going to know what they're doing and will help me get through this content. So really, that's the reason I've mainly relied on doing it with other players, because when I tried a solo dungeon in A Realm Reborn, one of the optional ones, it just went so much slower with that party of NPCs versus, the tanks will make sure they just get everyone to aggro them and they will keep running and just, there'll be a lot more momentum. So when I was playing Final Fantasy XI towards the end of my playthrough, I soloed most of it, but the very hardest content at the end, I basically just got really good players to help me get through that content, rather than just, okay, you can grind out for a bunch of extra time, try to get some better high-end equipment, and then you'll be able to solo this content. Or you could just shout in Juno for like 5 minutes and get someone to help you beat this boss quick. So I kind of let some people carry me through the last couple bosses of 11 rather than doing that excessive grind. But because the queue for Sohm was taking a while, I decided to try with a party of NPCs because I realized I had a 4-person team with myself, Alphino, Ysael, and Estinian. And I remembered someone saying somewhere in stuff I'd read about 14 that as you progress through the expansions, the NPC trusts that help you with dungeons will eventually be replaced with scions and characters that are actually in the story as opposed to in A Realm Reborn where they're just random characters. And so I realized, oh shoot, this is a 4-person team. Will this actually be my party through the dungeon? And turns out they were. And in addition to that, they gave them extra dialogue throughout the dungeon that you would have missed if you went with a party of other players. And so I really liked that because for me, there was always sort of a disconnect between gameplay and story when it came to 14's dungeons and just the random other players helping you out. There was like a narrative disconnect, but this actually made it more seamless narrative-wise. Felt more like a Final Fantasy where this is like, oh, this is my actual party. We're actually doing stuff together as a team. And so I thought that was really cool. And I did a skim through of some other upcoming instance dungeons and saw that some of them had just like random NPC characters, and then some of them had the characters that are significant to the story as your party. And so I think what I'm going to try to do is, if they're going to be the characters that are significant to the story as the party, I'm going to really try to do those with the trusts. And I think if it's just like random people that aren't a big part of the story, then I'll probably be more likely to do this with other players, and also depending on how long the queue is. But I'm glad that I gave it a shot of doing it with the trust because that allowed me to, give me that Final Fantasy story experience, and that's really what I'm here for. And that was great. It was cool. And then after getting through Sohm, we finally reached Mogholm, which has interested me as soon as I saw the name on the map when I was exploring Ravanna. So I'm hoping to see some Moogles here, so got the home point. And before I go on with the rest of this video, this is my mid-video call to action, the thing that YouTubers do to boost engagement. So I do these videos once a week, and the thing that helps me do these videos is engagement and people communicating with me so I don't feel like I'm just talking to myself because that's kind of sad and lonely. So I really need people to talk back to me in these videos because otherwise I feel like I'm just putting this out there and nobody cares. So if you want to comment and tell me what you think about the stuff I'm talking about, that will make me happy and will make me feel like people actually care about this. So please leave a comment and chat with me. If you like the video, that helps boost it in the algorithm, that helps show it to more people. If you share it on social media, like a Reddit post like, hey, I found this cool vlogger who makes these 14 vlogs every week, that helps more people find out about it. If you tell a friend about the video, that helps people find out about it. And then I feel less lonely making these 14 vlogs. And also it does help because I am working on video essays for the channel in addition to these 14 vlogs. And I really like doing the 14 vlogs, but if the views aren't high enough, it's hard to keep the incentive of continually working on these when I can work on video essays that can potentially make more money for the channel. Because the channel is monetized and makes a tiny bit of money, basically enough to help cover some groceries. But the incentives of YouTube are like, hey, you should not make these 14 vlogs because you could make more money doing this thing. But I'm really liking making these 14 vlogs. So if you can just like and comment and share and stuff, it helps increase the view count and then helps keep the incentives going where I can justify to myself spending the time doing these. I've also got a Discord server, so if you want to hang out on the Discord server with me, there'll be a link in the description. The rule is hey, just be chill, don't be a jerk, be nice to everybody on there, don't cause a fight, please and thank you. But yeah, made a video call to action over. That was actually all the MSQ I had time for this week because, as mentioned in the mid-video call to action, I am working on video essays for the channel, in addition to playing 14 and making these 14 vlogs, and doing the Thin Lazy Thursdays every week. Really trying to find that right balance of everything, and it's kind of hard to do, so hopefully I'm figuring out the balance. I'm hoping to play a little bit more MSQ next week because I got some really solid work done on the next upcoming video essay, so I feel like I don't have to work on that as hard. That's what I'm justifying to myself. But in exciting news, I am finally off the free trial in 14. I finally bought the game. I've been waiting for the game to go on sale, and I had a suspicion, because it hadn't gone on sale all summer, I thought the summer sale has got to be coming up soon. And with the recent patch update, I'm like, ooh, okay, sale's got to be coming any day now. And then it was a few days after the patch update, still nothing. I'm like, what are they waiting for the summer sale? And then with the Moonfire Faire being announced, I happened to be on the Lodestone website and saw that it had been announced just one day prior since I had been looking at the website. So it had just been announced. So I usually have been checking it like once a week to see for a sale. And I'm like, ooh, the summer sale is finally here, because I've been waiting to get the game on sale. I just hit the level cap at 70 for the free trial with Lito. So the timing was good, and I finally bought the game on sale, got off the free trial. And of course, it reminded me, Greg, you really got to work on those video essays so that the YouTube channel can just pay for 14 for you. Because real talk, I'm sure many of you can relate, the economy is rough right now, and it's just like people aren't making enough money and prices are still going up, cost of living is going up. And thus far, my YouTube channel, the payout is, in terms of monetization, pretty small. I will maybe make $100 either once every 2 months or once every 3 months. It used to be once a month when the 11 video was really popping off, but that video has slowed down a little bit, and I haven't put out a bigger video essay since then to help boost things in the algorithm. So I'm basically getting like 100 every 2 or 3 months from the YouTube channel. And I've been able to successfully invest it back into the channel by just like this microphone that I'm using is like a $100 microphone. And instead of paying for it out of my own pocket when I don't have much spending money, I was able to pay for it with the YouTube payout. And so the money that I used to buy 14 was money I had gotten from the channel that I put aside to pay for 14. And also I put aside a bunch of it to pay for the sub. So the idea is that, hopefully I can just keep putting aside money from the YouTube channel for the sub, and then put aside money from the channel for groceries after that. But still, it is definitely cool that YouTube was able to retroactively pay for my 11 subscription, and at least thus far, from the money I put aside, enough to pay for 14 for like 6 months for me. So there you go. That is the weeds, the sausage, the brutal honesty of small YouTube, and occasionally making enough spending money to buy a video game for yourself and then make content for the channel based upon that video game. But also, to be clear, I would be making this content whether or not it made money. I just am genuinely enjoying talking about 14 and sharing my thoughts. It's just, because money is tight around the house, there's that extra pressure of because I ended up losing my second job because that job got replaced by AI. There was that extra pressure of you need to make up this lost income from your second job that you no longer have. And oh, look, your YouTube channel makes money. If you make these video essays, that will help increase revenue for your household. But then it's but I'm having fun playing 14 and making these 14 vlogs. So yeah, share these videos so I can make more of these. But anyway, I did allow myself to buy one piece of premium content when buying 14 on sale, because I had been eyeing up that polar bear mount for a long time, and bear is my favorite animal. So I got the polar bear mount for my character Greg Troyan, which I'm a little bit disappointed that having to pay for individual mounts and outfits, they don't extend to all the characters on all of your accounts. I think that is kind of rough. And I did have a little bit of buyer's remorse after getting it, because did I really just spend $8 on a bear mount? Even on sale, I'm because I'm not the type to buy DLC outfits or stuff in games. That's just never been my thing. I'll buy DLC if there's significant extra content, like in Final Fantasy 16 or Episode Arc in Final Fantasy 15. But I know that buying those kind of DLC things can be very, very addictive. So I've never spent money in any gacha game I've ever played, because I don't want to get into that addictive cycle of spending all your money on a online game and, digital media. But I said to myself, you know what, you can get one, you can allow yourself the bear, you've wanted this bear for literal years, just get the bear. But yeah, so then after getting the bear, I finally got to log in to 14 for the first time outside of the free trial. And I thought it was really cool how you could like choose which expansion was your start screen. It's default to Heaven's Word right now because I'm on Heaven's Word, and it gives it a much darker vibe when you're starting up the game with that Heaven's Word title screen. So that's pretty fun. And I finally got to have a little bit of fun of using the features not available on the free trial. I got Lito, a retainer, who I ended up naming Margaret Fenn, who I think like subconsciously was inspired by one of my cats, who unfortunately is no longer with us. Her name was Muffin, and she was just a beautiful little angel. And so Margaret Fenn, I think, was subconsciously inspired by Muffin. And so it's nice to have her helping out Lito. But yeah, then after that, I did the Moonfire Faire with my buddy Summoner Jobin. We didn't do Palace of the Dead this week. We did the Moonfire Faire, the seasonal event, which is basically going on a cruise ship and getting trained as a lifeguard and then just partying on the cruise ship in Costa del Sol. But what was really fun is that at the same time I was playing with Summoner Jobin, I noticed that a new friend of mine who I met through doing the YouTube channel, and then they joined my Discord server. Their character name is Yoru Nagare. They happen to be playing 14 at the exact same time as us. So I sent them over a message and was like, hey, do you want to do the Moonfire Faire Festival with us? And they were just starting it. So they warped back to the starting point with us, and we all did the festival side quest together. And it was a lot of fun. It was a really great party atmosphere on the boat. Lots of people making jokes, silly outfits. So I did the quest as Gred Troyan with them, and also did the quest as Lito at a different time. So I got the bonuses and rewards for both my characters. And it was just good vibes. And I love that I saw like some familiar faces on the boat, including players who had helped me out in the past. And I do love being off the free trial with the ability to add people as friends and form a party yourself. Like, ooh, that's nice. So Summoner Jobin and I are finally officially friends. Summoner Jobin is officially friends with Lito and Gred Troyan. It was the first time that Yoru and I had played together, so Yoru and I officially friends. And actually what's really cool is that I met both of them just through doing the YouTube channel. I met Summoner Jobin in the comments for one of my Final Fantasy ranking videos when I did that ranking series, which if you haven't seen that, those are a fun time. I did 16 rankings to celebrate Final Fantasy 16, and so I ranked each of the mainline games plus tactics in a bunch of different categories. So like which one has the best music, which one has the best combat, best villain, best main character. Like I did a bunch of different breakdowns. And I met Summoner Jobin in one of those comments, and then we became friends. And Yoru I met in the comments of my videos, and we've been chatting it up on my Discord, and now we're friends and got to play together. And so I don't know, the vibes were good. And actually what's really fun with Yoru in particular is that Yoru is one of the people who saw my Final Fantasy XI video and then got inspired to play 11 because of the video. And that is just so cool to me. I've had a few people reach out about that and say, hey, your video inspired me to play 11. And so like every time someone says that, it's just really cool and really flattering, just makes me just extremely, extremely happy. Just because I love Final Fantasy XI and the series so much, and to know that I helped shape someone's approach to a Final Fantasy game is just a huge, huge, huge honor. But yeah, it was a good time on the boat, good time with friends, got to meet some celebrities. All in all, just a great time. But yeah, that's my vlog for this week. Not as much in terms of MSQ this week, but still, it was a really great time. I'm loving my time with 14. I will do my best to continue making these vlogs, even as outside pressures are like, Greg, like, you really should be working on this with your time, because I'm really loving making these 14 vlogs. So once again, I thank you so much for watching. The best way to support these vlogs is literally just like, comment, share. It helps your buddy Greg a lot. And also, like, I want to talk with people about 14. I want to engage with people. I want to chat about the game because I'm having so much fun. And just like, I want to talk about this thing. Please talk about this thing with me. But yeah, that's the video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye, everyone.